Hey guys, welcome to another day of the shop. I'm Corey, and I'll be working on my 2002 Envoy. Today I'm having some air conditioning / heat issues. I've had it going on for a little while. I'll have to explain how the system works. It's a little bit different than other systems, so we're going to take a look at that. So let's get to the intro. Alright, well, when explaining how these systems work, this system uses quite a few flapper doors. It also has its own computer system, so a lot of times it has to be reset. The way you reset it is there's a couple of fuses you can pull, and then you pull the battery. If you pull the fuses, it normally resets the computer itself, and you'll hear the system doing a system check whenever you go to turn the car on. All you gotta do is turn it to an accessory with the key, and when you do that, you can hear the whole entire system cycle. When it's cycling, I've got a motor right here. This is my replacement motor. The motors that are in the system that use all the doors are like this. This little system uses gears and turns that cylinder right there. That cylinder actually opens and closes the doors to let you know, or give you heat, or direct the airflow towards the vent on the dash for defrost, or the vent for your face, or the vent for your feet. So as you see three little what do you want to call those lines right there? In those three lines, the middle one is the center, and then they fluctuate between those other two lines. If they come out of those lines, you have to reset the system because it's out of, what is it called? Out of calibration, so it has to recalibrate. So we're going to look into this. Alright, well, we're going to dig in behind the AC unit right here, the controls, and the only way to do that is you're going to have to pull this face off, this panel down here off, which takes 2 screws on this side, 2 screws on this side, and then we're just going to pull this panel off up front, and this panel out. And the only way to get this panel out is you have to pull this out, and you have to pull this back a little bit more. It's not an easy task when you want to keep as much of the interior intact as possible, but the motor is back in here for this side, and this is my side that I'm having issues with. This one over here is completely gone out, and the door is forcibly staying open to AC. This one is stuck on heat right now. I'd much rather have AC during the spring and summer in the south rather than having heat, because even with the air conditioner blowing all on the driver's side and the passenger side just locked off and it has heat in it, the heat overtakes the AC every time, so it gets really warm in here. So we're going to fix this today. So I'm going to start pulling these panels off and show you how it's done. Alright, we're going to take all these clips out here. 4-wheel drive, the 3 12-volt systems, and whatever that is. Which one's that? Oh, okay, the windshield wiper in the back. So we're going to do that, and then I've got to fix this panel because it's cracked up top. So I'm going to glue it and make sure that it doesn't crack anymore. So let me get these things off, and we'll get back to it. Alright, so we're going to do a little panel repair right here. As you see, this is broken off right here. So that's broken, this is cracked, and then this is broken off up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and bond these pieces back together strong enough to where it looks good. And then possibly tape it all off and paint it. So, because all it has to do is just be the top part. So If this doesn't work out, we can always go get a piece from the junkyard, and hopefully it's the same color, because otherwise it won't match up to the rest of the interior. So just this being cracked right here, we should be able to get it to where it works out good. Got me a little sanding block right here. Gonna sand on this back side, rough it all up, making sure that I have a surface to bond to with the epoxy. Go all the way down. And once we clean this area and sand it down, well, sorry, once we sand it down, we're going to clean it using some cleaning agents with alcohol and everything else, so that we make sure there's no solvents or oils or anything. Alright, so using what I got, and that's brake cleaner, because it cleans everything. So just throwing it on here on a rag, wiping it all down, making sure all these areas are clean. Alright, let them dry. And to start off with, I do have this clear weld quick epoxy. I'm going to use this to start out with, just to kind of bond these pieces together just a little bit. Once I have them settled in and they start going together, then I'm going to come back with some JB Weld on the very back side back here to make sure I bond them in very well and they're not going anywhere. So this is going to just be a quick time lapse of me getting this thing together. Alright, here's what we need to get out. There's a bolt up here, a bolt on the side here, which I left out, a bolt back here, which I got to get, if y'all can see. So here's the only plug, and oh, let's see if you can see what's that little cylinder right there. That's what controls everything, and I gotta check it and see if it's out of whack, if it's even moving. I don't think it's moving, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna check it and then go from there. Alright, we're going to cycle the car to on, look down here, and we're going to adjust this. And nothing's happening. Well, let's turn it on. There we go. Let's check it. And nothing's happening with this one. Anything happening here? Alright, well, it'll blow. If you can hear that little whining, that's the motors working. So this one's not working at all. So I'm going to take this one out and replace it right this second. So. Alright, so these bigger bolts which hold all these panels in, this is a 7mm. The panel, or the screws in here, are 5.5, so we're going to go from there. I'm going to have to get my little 1/4-inch ratchet, because there's no way for me to really get back here good and get to all these little bolts. So we're going to take that one out and see what we can do from there. Alright, got the motor out. As you see, the little design in there, it's the same as this one right there. So the only difference is really, there's not a whole lot. This is the original, this is a replacement piece. This one's a little bit lighter. It does not have a metal gear set up. You could probably take this one apart, clean it up, and see if you could just replace the motor in it itself, which is a cheap fix, but these aren't necessarily expensive, so you have a whole unit. The only way I could get this thing off was I ended up the way it's in there is like this, and that bolt right there is covered up by a metal piece that goes to the dash. So I had to actually snap it off. Here's the part that goes in there and you screw to. But what I'll do is I'll just screw in this other hole over here instead, and it'll make it a little bit easier. So this is a direct replacement. You're probably going to struggle a little bit trying to get this one in there because of this being so wide, and there's a piece right here that's just in the way. So once you figure that part out, you should be able to get it in there. So that's what we're going to work on. Alright, it took some prying back here, as you see. Stuck this little doohickey back here and had to pry up because there is no room right here. So, since we did that, I'm going to put a couple of screws in here, up here and over here, and secure this. And then we're going to turn the car on and see if it rotates through its normal situations. And if it doesn't, then we'll reset the whole system again and make sure it goes through that way. So we're going to get this in and test it out. Alright, I'm going to crank the car back up. Let's see what this does. Alright, it's not moving. It's still not moving. So, what that means is we're going to reset the system. So I've got to look up the fuses again, but once we do that, I'll show you what fuses they are, and we're going to redo this setup. Reset the setup. So stay tuned. Alright, first thing we're going to do is come to the back passenger, or the back driver's side. Excuse the mess, my little one, she gets messy. Move this pin. Hey look, I don't know what that is. Alright, so we're going to pull these tabs and force this up, and then you have your diagram right here. So you have this, pull this up, alright. You have your little fuse puller right here. We're going to go down this little list. Alright, so whenever you come back here, you're going to pull these fuses. You're going to pull these two right here. You're going to pull the 10 and the 30. It shows them both right here. So those are the two you're going to pull. You have a rear, which is down here, which is a 30 amp. And then you also have this 10 up here. So you have to pull these for about 30 seconds. So you pull all those out. You wait about 30 seconds, and the system should reset itself. So let's go to the front. Alright, we're up under the hood now. Taking this fuse panel off. Shows our stuff again there. Pull this panel off. We got another fuse puller right here. Alright, so we're going to look at this diagram, which is, let's see, it's flip-flop. So, it's like this. Or is it? No, it's like this. I'm confusing myself. Alright, so we're going down this list right here, and we're going to go down and down and down. Looking for HVAC. Blower, ignition, AC, 44. There should be one more if I'm not mistaken. It's been a little while since I've done this. Well, it looks like there's only one for the AC. Nope, there's two. AC is number 30 and number 44. So I'm going to pull both of those. So where's 30? 30 should be right. There's 32. Was that on 44? 44. Alright, so we don't have to mess with that one, because that one's a relay. But 32. Is that the one? 30, excuse me. 30. You're right, somewhere on this area, but it doesn't show. Let's see. 30. 30 is up here. Alright. There's 30. We pull 30. And then we're going to wait a little while. We can also unplug the battery, which we will not do this time because I don't see the point. Once we pull these fuses and wait a little while, that it should reset the system. So you're going to hold these out for about 30 seconds. So right now we have time to go put the other ones back. So I can get this fuse off. Set that where I know where it goes. Come back here. Lay these right where they go. And put that one back. This one back. Alright. A little fuse puller right there. Come back up here. Place this back in here. Alright. Let's go back in here. And gotta find my keys. Alright. So let me show y'all again. Here we go. Alright, this is turning on to accessory. Alright, this is it trying to calibrate itself. I can hear everything. Yep, it's turning. You see that? Self-calibrating. Alright, it just self-calibrated. So now let's crank it up. Alright, now it's cranked up. Self-calibrating again, testing itself out. I'm going to move to the heat. Let's see if it moves. This one does not like me. Alright. Yep. Well, it's self-calibrated, but it is not moving in any other sense. So I'm not sure. We're gonna have to work on it just a little bit more and figure out what's going on diagnose wise. Forgot to mention we started doing this little repair. It looks like it's holding. Yeah, I have a little gap right here, but I'm not too worried about it. It's not popping up like it was. Put some JB Weld back here for some strength. Fix that. Fixing these little AC clips with some JB Weld. Fix that one. Gonna let it dry for a little bit. Probably put the heat gun on it just to warm it up a little bit more. But it's a cheap and easy fix for some cosmetic stuff that was bothering me anyway. So once all this gets handled, it shouldn't give me another issue. Another thing is I'll probably take this clip out so it doesn't stress on this anymore, because you already got two and it's not a big area. So I don't see why you have 15 million clips for something that isn't very structural. So thanks. Alright, well, after doing a bunch of diagnostics, I figured out that my AC controller, the module that goes right here, is basically bad. The fan motor only goes up to 4 anyway, so I'm going to go and opt to go to the junkyard and get another one and see if that fixes my issue. The motors, all my motors run except for my driver's side AC and heat. My driver's side AC and heat, the door flapper on it is not right. I'd have to pull the whole dash and the whole AC system to fix that. And I've pulled the dash before and I didn't get into the AC completely. It's too many hours for what's going on. I'd rather just have AC and yeah, AC and that's it. I can dress warmer, but when you get hot, you can't get cooler. Not in the south. So I'm going to button all this back up. I have the AC controller right here. As I said, it's not working properly. So I'm going to get another one and possibly update y'all on that later. But I appreciate you tuning in, and I want to say if you found this video in any sense helpful, give me a thumbs up. Comment, tell me what happens. If it doesn't help and you got other issues, let me know. Check out the Teespring store. We'll get more merch like this, better merch, newer merch. Also, we have got a giveaway going on for a $50 Amazon gift card once we hit 200 subscribers, which shouldn't be too much longer. So if you haven't subscribed, you should. It's coming up quick. The next one's going to be at 300, and I haven't a clue of what I want to do for the 300 subscriber giveaway. Until then, appreciate it.